I don't usually make videos talking about one team in particular, but today I wanted to talk a little bit about the New York Rangers because in my opinion, they are one of the most intriguing teams in the National Hockey League. And if we're talking about teams that have the brightest futures in the NHL, I would put them right at the top, probably along with the Colorado Avalanche. They really do have a little bit of everything on this roster. Before I dive into everything, let's take a quick look at how they fared this past season. 7th in the Metro, and when you look at that, you would probably think they didn't have a great year, but the Metro is easily the toughest division in the entire NHL, and teams 1 through 7 all had a shot this year. A 37, 28, and 5 record, 79 points. They were right in the thick of things in terms of the playoff hunt. Artemi Panarin had an MVP caliber season. He was definitely one of the better players in the entire NHL this year, and you also had Mika Zibanejad, who really made that next leap and became a top center in the NHL. He finished the year with the best goals per game out of anyone in the league. You also had Ryan Strome come in and kind of revive his career. Him and Panarin found some really nice chemistry. Tony DeAngelo really broke out and became an important player for the team. And they also had Adam Fox, who was one of the very best rookies in the entire NHL this past season. There was really just a lot to be excited about when it comes to the New York Rangers. Those were just a couple of examples. We have a lot more to talk about when it comes to the Rangers in today's video. Reason number 1 being they have their superstar in Artemi Panarin, and I'll be the first to say that I was completely wrong about him signing with the New York Rangers. I personally thought that the contract was a big overpayment for a guy who wasn't necessarily proven as one of the very best players in the NHL. He was good, but I didn't think he was a superstar. But like I mentioned earlier, he played like a superstar this season, played like an MVP, 32 goals and 63 assists for 95 points in just 69 games. If he continues to play like that throughout the remainder of his contract, then he is most definitely worth every penny. He's the face of that franchise right now, and in most cases, when it comes to the best teams in the NHL, you have to have that franchise player, and the Rangers most definitely do. Reason number 2 being they have the perfect co-star for Artemi Panarin in Mika Zibanejad. Like I said, he really took that next step this year and became an elite centerman. He put up amazing numbers in just 57 games because he did miss some time due to injury. Still 41 goals, 34 assists for 75 points. That's a career high in points, a career high in goals, and led the league in goals per game like I mentioned. Do I expect him to keep it up at that rate in the coming seasons? Probably not, but I definitely think he can consistently stay like a 35 to 40 goal scorer and a point per game player. You look at other franchises around the NHL that had a long period of time where they were very successful. The Chicago Blackhawks, they had Patrick Kane and co-star Jonathan Toews. The Capitals, Ovechkin and Backstrom. The Penguins with Crosby and Malkin, of course. Batman always has to have his Robin, and I definitely think this duo of Panarin and Zibanejad can be one of the better duos in the NHL for years to come. And just give Mika Zibanejad the C already. We all know it's going to happen sooner or later. Reason number 3 being Kaapo Kakko, the 2nd overall pick by the Rangers in the 2019 NHL draft, and the best is most certainly yet to come from him. Yes, he did have a disappointing year compared to the hype that he was given heading into the season, but same goes for number 1 overall pick Jack Hughes. Neither of them were overly impressive in their rookie year, but he is 19 years old. You have to be patient with these players. I think Kaapo Kakko is going to be just fine. 10 goals and 13 assists for 23 points in 66 games this past season with the New York Rangers. There were times where I would watch him and he would do things where I'm like, that is exactly why he was the number 2 overall pick, and that is exactly why there is so much hype surrounding him. And then there were other times where you could definitely tell he was struggling a little bit to transition to the NHL game, and for some players, of course, that is going to happen. It's not going to be a smooth, easy transition. Like I said, I think Kaapo Kakko is going to be just fine, and if he can become the player that everybody expected him to be heading into the 2019 draft, then this New York Rangers team very soon could have a trio of offensive stars instead of just a duo. Reason number 4, they have the makings of a very, very good blue line, hopefully to be led by Jacob Trouba in the future. His first year in New York wasn't amazing, especially considering the contract that they gave him, paying him $8 million per year. That is a lot, especially since he was like the 3rd best defender on the team this past season, but we know what he has the potential to be. He was amazing for the Jets in the 18-19 season, season, and I think he does have to be a little bit better in the coming years. And of course, you have Tony DeAngelo. I've pumped his tires a ton this season. He really blew me away, and I'm very interested to see what type of contract the Rangers give him this offseason. I'm thinking maybe a bridge deal, but who knows, maybe he wants to be locked up long term for a lot of money, which could be kind of difficult for the Rangers to do. And obviously, not to be left out, you have Adam Fox, who is one of the most underrated rookies in the entire league this past season, definitely overshadowed by Hughes and Makar, but an unreal year, and he should be very good for a very long time. And you have defensive prospects that aren't even on the team yet, which leads me into my next reason, being the prospect pool, starting out with Kreider Miller, who was the Rangers' first round pick in the 2018 draft. They signed him to his entry-level contract. I would say he's most likely going to start in the American Hockey League next year because they don't want to rush him, but if he impresses down there, there's a good chance we could see him in the NHL as soon as next season. The Rangers' other first rounder from 2018, Nils Lundqvist, also looks very, very good, and out of all NHL prospects, probably had one of the best years. 11 goals and 20 assists for 31 points in 45 games in the Swedish Hockey League. It'll be interesting to see when he does end up playing for the New York Rangers, but himself and Kreider Miller, along with DeAngelo, Fox, and Trouba, that's the makings of a very, very good blue line. Hitting on your later first round picks definitely makes up for picks like Elias Anderson, who they took 7th overall in the 2017 draft, who at this point just looks like one big question mark. The next reason being the supporting cast. We already talked a little bit about Ryan Strome. If he continues to play like he did last season in the next couple of years, then obviously that would be huge for the New York Rangers and take a lot of pressure off of the Stars. Another important guy is Chris Kreider, who they were able to re-sign instead of trading, which ultimately I think was the right move. 6.5 per year is a little bit steep, but if he can continue to be a consistent 20-goal, 50-point guy and be a solid veteran presence in the locker room, I don't think they're going to mind paying him that whatsoever. I'm also a pretty big fan of Pavel Buchnevich, who had a career-high 46 points this past season. I think he can be a consistent 20-goal guy, and in my opinion, the best is yet to come from him, and I like him in their top 6. Another player that is super intriguing is Philip Hedl, the Rangers' first-round pick, 21st overall in the 2017 draft. Hasn't really broke out at the NHL level just yet, but he's only 20 years old and has gradually gotten better. I like Brendan Lemieux in like a 3rd or 4th line role. Say what you want about him, but I think a lot of teams in the NHL need players that play the game the way Brendan Lemieux does. He's chippy, he can stand up for his teammates, and occasionally chip in some offense. I'm not just going to read off their entire roster. You guys get the point. I'm a fan of the supporting cast that they have around their stars. The final reason being they have the goaltending position solidified with Igor Shesterkin. 24 years old, came in this year and played 12 games and had some pretty insane numbers, a 10-2 record, .932 save percentage, and 2.52 goals against. Before the call up to the NHL, he was playing amazing in the AHL as well with a 17-4-3 record, a .934 save percentage, and 1.90 goals against average. Shesterkin is the real deal and is going to make a perfect replacement for Henrik Lundqvist, who had a Hall of Fame career but is not the goaltender that he once was. I think Alexander Georgiev can definitely make a really good backup for Shesterkin as well. There was a lot of rumors about Georgiev being traded. It'll be interesting to see what happens there, but like I said, if he stays, I think him and Shesterkin can make for a really, really good tandem. That is pretty much going to do it. Those are the major reasons why I think the New York Rangers will soon dominate the NHL. If you're a Rangers fan, you probably loved this video. I was pretty much pumping their tires for 10 straight minutes. If you don't like the Rangers, well, I don't even know how you got this far in the video, and you're probably going to drop a dislike on it. But hey, I woke up today wanting to talk about the New York Rangers. It's got to be a pretty exciting time for the Rangers organization and the fans. If you're a new fan of the NHL and you're not sure what team to pick as your favorite, the Rangers would probably be a pretty good option. They're exciting to watch, and not to mention they play in one of the most historic buildings in the world, Madison Square Garden. And if you are a fan of the New York Rangers and you got this far in the video, make sure to let me know down in the comment section below what you're most excited about when it comes to your team in the coming years. I can bet you as a whole, you guys are probably a lot more excited about your team than us Red Wings fans are. That is going to wrap up today's video. I really hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to drop a like on it and let me know down in the comment section below if you have any other video suggestions. I'm always open to hearing new ideas. And with all that being said, if you guys are new to the channel and you want to see more hockey videos like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you all in the next video.